This is Daniel in so many words. Greetings, fellow Pokemon trainers. My name is Daniel, and in so many words, the Pokemon universe boasts a wide variety of some pretty interesting characters. From psychics to hikers to karate masters to creepy dead childlike beings to... Wait, what was that last one? Oh no. Yup, we're talking about the Fairy Tale Girls today. Oh joy.
Fairy Tale Girls are a trainer class introduced in Pokémon X and Y and carried over into Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. They appear to be small children dressed in a style similar to that of the sweet Lolita fashion that's quite popular in Japan. As you might expect, Fairy Tale Girls usually specialize in fairy-type Pokémon, usually spout off some weird line about fairies and such, and look pretty similar to Alice from Alice in Wonderland. To be fair though, they do also kinda look like those creepy little sisters from BioShock. At first glance, the Fairy Tale Girls just look like little girls playing a silly game of roleplay, pretending they're a character in a magical world. Not too far-fetched though, considering you're in a world full of superpowered animals, but that means something closer to fairy tales. Seems innocent enough, like it's just a child using their imagination, but when you look closer at these innocent little girls, I think you'll find one of the most disturbing things happening in Kalos, if not the entirety of the Pokemon world. Let's start with their look, their aesthetic, if you will, for all you Tumblr kids. As I mentioned, they take after the sweet Lolita fashion style and look fairly similar to such fairy tale characters as Alice in Wonderland. The sweet Lolita fashion focuses on the fantasy aspect of the Lolita style, using bright colors and childlike motifs to emphasize the young, girly aspects of Lolita fashion, the cuteness of it all. Like basically any other trainer class, this could possibly just be done to match the aesthetic of the trainer to that of the Pokemon type that they specialize in. But then we take a look at the Fairy Tale Girls' eyes. All of these Fairy Tale Girls for some reason seem to have these same pupilless yellow eyes and this oddly whimsical expression on their faces. Again, this could all just add up to a young girl with a really vivid imagination and apparently one hell of a cosplay budget, but it's not just about what they look like, it's about their personalities and the things that they say, really. Again, most Fairy Tale Girl quotes reference fairies or magical creatures and the like, but one particular Fairy Tale Girl really threw me off. She's in the Battle Maze song in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and after the battle, she says, and I quote,
"I will tell you how old I really am, but I can't say I'm old enough to be your mother. Tee."
Oh yeah, you thought you were dealing with a sweet innocent child here, but apparently this is someone who's in their 20s or 30s, or maybe even older. Now, it's possible that some of these Fairy Tale Girls retain a childlike stature due to growth issues caused by a lack of hormones. For example, if the pituitary gland doesn't produce enough growth hormones, or the thyroid doesn't make enough thyroxine, it could stifle a child's physical growth. However, if this was merely a growth issue, we'd still see other signs of aging, like gray hair and wrinkles. These things would still happen as the years go on, despite their childlike physique. And trust me, that tidbit about their age isn't the last disturbing quote from a Fairy Tale Girl either.
"Oh, phooey. Don't you ever come back. If you do, we're gonna end you, okay? Don't you worry your silly little head. I'll take away all your pain, okay? Shh. Rest now and close your eyes. You won't ever need open them again."
But amidst all of these utterly disturbing implications of murder, there's one quote that I find very telling.
"All you have to do is ignore reality, and you could stay young forever too."
This Fairy Tale Girl is saying that somehow she's staying young forever. I don't see how that's possible through simple medical conditions that stifle one's physical growth. You still age, you still die. So there's no way that this girl, who claims to be old enough to be your parent, or perhaps even older, can look the way she does. Unless she's already dead. Let's consider where they debuted. Fairy Tale Girls first came into the Pokemon world in X and Y, originating from the Kalos region. Two Pokemon who also debuted in Gen 6 and are also from Kalos are the Ghost and Grass-type Pokemon, Phantump and Trevenant. Phantump's Pokédex entry is one of the creepier ones in the series, and one that also bolsters my theory from my top 5 Pokemon that must suck to be video, where I implied that humans become Ghost-type Pokemon when they die. According to old tales, these Pokemon are stumps possessed by the spirits of children who died while lost in the forest. As if that's not creepy enough, let's take a look at Trevenant's Pokédex entry. It can control trees at will. It will trap people who harm the forest, so they can never leave. It's also very telling that the only place you can find Trevenant in any of the Gen 6 games is Kalos Route 20, which is also known as the Winding Woods. Plenty of people get lost in the Winding Woods. It seems like it's designed to confuse you, get you turned around, and make you lose your way. On top of that, there are certain parts of the forest that require you to use cut to get through them. cutting down small trees, which Trevenant would obviously see as an attack on the forest. You can also catch Gotharita in the Winding Woods, which, according to the Pokedex, can use its psychic powers to manipulate both people and Pokemon to create new friends for itself. And as just one more telling piece of evidence here, guess what kind of trainer you can find running around in the Winding Woods? A fairy tale girl. My theory is that little girls wander into the Winding Woods and use Cut with one of their Pokemon to try and navigate through the forest, thus angering Trevenants, who use their power to control the trees to make the girls lose their way, trapping them in the forest until they die. Upon death, their spirits become Trevenant's pre-evolution Phantump, while their physical bodies are reanimated by Gotharitas, who use their powers to create a new friend for themselves from this empty vessel, and thus allow them to live forever as fairy tale girls. It explains how fairy tale girls can retain this youthful, childlike appearance and yet live to be older than your parents with no signs of physical aging. It explains how every fairy tale girl seems to have the same blank, yellow, pupilless eyes, as if something is missing. Like their soul, perhaps. Hell, it even explains why fairy tale girls usually hang out with Hex Maniacs for double battles. Hex Maniacs being trainers, by the way, who almost exclusively use and specialize in ghost-type Pokemon. The Gotharita part may be a bit of a hunch, but I don't think it's too much of a stretch considering that both fairy tale girls and the entire Gotharita evolutionary family greatly borrow design aspects from various Lolita fashions. And even if it is reaching a bit, is it really so far-fetched to think that Gotharitas can reanimate dead children who were killed by vengeful trees in a region that also contains a ghost girl in Lumio City who can levitate at will, and a region whose legendary Pokemon are the physical embodiments of life and death, which can be captured and made to submit to the will of a mere mortal child? The Pokemon universe contains some fascinating, confusing, and at times very creepy mysteries, many of which are still unsolved today, but I don't think there could be much doubt about this one. Fairy tale girls are undead, soulless child corpses, innocent children who were killed just trying to find their way home. They were stripped of their souls and manipulated into believing that they are immortal, fairy-loving little girls, when the reality is that these poor children died a long, long time ago.
Hopefully that makes up for no vlog on Halloween week. So, what do you think? Do you think my theory holds any grounds? And if not, what do you think makes the fairy tale girl so creepy? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe for more utterly disturbing Pokemon videos. But until we meet again, insert catchphrase here.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.